Alright, so let's add the stream marker and get going then. Oh man, this has been a little bit partly because of animal related trials and mostly because TTS is dumb and decided to update last week and couldn't do the thing. Mentioned this at the start of the actual history one to like the set description, but honestly, oh, TTS is a silly billy. Alright, let's go over the... Honestly, there's like 6 decks that I would want to play today. There's just so much going on in this set. But let's go over the 3 that I have out here. I don't know if they're all going to see play, but I do know one of the decks, which is... or at least I have an idea of one of the decks that's being brought out, so I don't know if this is going to actually be played. But let's just go over it anyway. From this set, Gengar is probably the single strongest card in the actual set itself. Even in its poorest matchups, if you just flip heads, this card will just win the game, so it is really dumb. All 3 parts of it are very good here. In Fainting Spell, if you are KO'd by damage from an attack, you can flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon is KO'd as well. It's supposed to be the attacking Pokemon is KO'd, so a hit and run Pokemon will still die on the bench. Shadow Room then puts 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon for a single energy, but if that Pokemon has a Pokepower, you put 6 instead, which is absolutely insane. And Poltergeist isn't quite as powerful at the moment, but is definitely stronger later on too. 1 Psychic, 1 Colorless. Look at the opponent's hand, 30 damage times number of trainer, supporter, and stadium cards that you find there. We're going to turn this down very slightly because it's just a little bit too loud. That's probably too quiet now, but it's like super granular. Can't really do a lot about it because it just does that. So it might just be on my end. It's probably just a little bit too loud here. Let's just turn my own side down. Yeah. So this card is absolutely stupid. It does literally everything that you would want it to do in a card. And just be like, yeah, I know DNA, it's so hard, because like I'm already on a small denominator anyway. I'm trying to do everything I can to just like not talk about this deck because this deck is stupid. We also have Cresselia level X in here. This is kind of the meta breaker for the archetype right now. It's the biggest partner that just makes it insane. Whilst you have this card in play, you know, you level exit and you just go, I'm gonna shift the damage counter from my side to your side and just KO whatever I need to. Also, Moonskip takes extra prizes. That can come up. It's a little bit hard to power this up, but since you only need 1 energy on the Gengars, it's really not that big of a deal. Otherwise, there's not a lot to talk about. We have Unknown G in here because Unknown G stops you from dying outside of damage, which is what Gengar needs in order to do its attack. It also is good against other Gengar, and it makes the matchup very silly. So there is that. Pretty standard sort of setup for most of the rest of this here. We've got Pokédrawer in here, so we can pull 2 cards out of the deck whenever we want, which is really good. So fantastic card to have around here. And we have a couple of bits of disruption because one of the ways of playing around this is to put Unknown G on your attacker and then go, I'm going to empty my hand out of trainers all the time. So we don't have Looker's Investigation yet, that's next set, but we do have Wager, so we can force the opponent to draw a new hand, and if they draw a 6, which is likely against me because I lose like every Wager because I just do it randomly, we can force them to have trainer cards in their hand, so we can make it better for us, basically. The one weird card in here is Speed Stadium. I don't want Moonlight Stadium in here because my guys are so low retreat. No, Gengar's a 0 and Cresselia's a 1. Like, I don't really care about that side of things. So I don't want the opponent to have Moonlight Stadium in case they're playing Psychic or Dark. But I do want the Stadium to counter Dustoir. So just a 1 copy at this point. So there is that. Yeah, I mean, they could, but then if they draw up 2 and they only draw like 1 card or something, then they're just spiting themselves. So, you know, I'm okay with that, because I will just start hitting the Claydols instead. Yeah, no, so we have 1 Speed Stadium in here just because it can bounce the Dustoir. Sometimes it's nice as well, you can draw a bunch of cards, so it's kind of cool. So this is the strongest deck of the format. I'm pretty sure Pepper is playing pure Dark just to spite it, however, so I don't know exactly which one of these I want to play, but my favourite deck of this round so far has been Starmie Electrode. Yeah, yeah, we're Platinum's next set, so Lucas Investigation will be there. This is my favorite deck of this round. I've changed it so that we don't have the Ion Blast Electrode anymore, because I literally never used it, so we're going this way instead. So, the main idea is that Starmie has two very good attacks. Cold Flash is the one you see more often, one Psychic Snipe 50 on a Pokemon that has a Pokepower or a Pokebody on it, so that's actually very strong. Snipe stuff on the bench to do damage instead of damage counters, so Unknown G doesn't stop it. But this deck also takes advantage of Star Boomerang, where for 1 water you do 30, and then you can return Starmie and all cards attached to it to the hand. The key thing is, plus power attaches in this era, so we do have access to bonus damage on the Star Boomerang, and then we return it to the hand with all cards attached. So if we can get all of our plus powers, we can return all of our plus powers to our hand. We do like 50 to 70 damage with this thing, and keep it out of harm's way as well. We then need something to move into, which is where the Electrode comes in. Electrode, its attacks are kind of whatever. Low Current's actually kind of good. 1 Lightning for 30, and if Electrode got damaged last turn, Auto Paralysis, that's actually pretty good. Don't sleep on that too much. But it's mostly here because it's got Radiance and 0 Retreat. Radiance says that if your Electrode gets damaged by an attack next turn, whilst it's in the active slot, put a damage counter on each of the opponent's Pokemon. So this just gets us closer to our win con because we're just damaging all of the opponent's guys down all the time, which is really cool, but also, yeah, it's big enough, it's got no retreat, and it can hit as well. If you do take damage, you force the opponent into a damaging state, and then you just go 30 plus paralysis. Really cool. Couple of little techs that we've had here. We do of course have Unknown G. This is really good against Gengar, of course, but it's quite okay. We don't really need it against Machamp, but it's quite okay against Dusknoir too, as we found out in midweek testing stuff last week. So it's a pretty good card, but we mostly want it so we can win the Gengar matchup, because we put this on in a Claydol or the Electrode if we have to put that into play, and then the Gengar has to go for damage attacks, and then we're fine. So that's good. And then the 1/1 Mewtwo level X in here, because Regigigas is impossible to beat otherwise. That's pretty much it, honestly. It's better next week, but Regigigas is like a hard counter for this deck otherwise. It one-shots all of our guys, and we only do like 50, they just heal it all the time. So we need something, and Regigigas has a near impossible time dealing with Mewtwo level X, so we have that. We do have a ton of Pokemon in this set, and I will say Uxie can also do the plus power loop thing. They just go to the bottom of the deck instead, so this can actually help against Gengar, where you can put your plus powers to the bottom instead of to the hand, so you don't get poltergeisted. So that can work too. Otherwise, we have a ton of Pokemon in this deck, so we do actually play the Poké Radar, and it does generally hit here. Rather strong, to say the least. So good stuff on that. Otherwise, it's just pure consistency. We don't need a ton of energy in this deck because everything is like 1 energy attacking, other than the Mewtwo, which recovers our energy anyway, so it's pretty solid. But I think what I'm actually going to play this set is going to be Scizor Cherrim. Partly because I haven't actually played this one on stream yet, mostly because this deck is really fun, and that's kind of what we're here for. So the main idea, Cherrim gives you plus 10 damage on each of your grass and fire Pokemon, so just a grass Pokemon in this deck. But the more Cherrim you have out, the more bonus damage you do. Its attacks are whatever, like Salty Sweet Pollen is decent, but yeah, it's kind of whatever. But what we're here for is the Scizor. Scizor's Honeycomb Defender doesn't really matter too much this set, so yeah, it can do some damage reduction if we get there. Whatever, next set with Shaman level X, that would be better. But here, we have 2 good attacks. Accelerate for 2 colorless does 30, I mean, it's basically 2 energy for both of them because we've only got grass energy in here. So, Accelerate, if you KO with this 30 damage attack, you have Agility effect on you here, so you are immune to everything next turn, which is pretty good. And then Pound Down only does 40, but if you don't have a Pokemon with a Pokepower in play, which if you notice this deck only has like 2 of, we do 70 for 2. Where the Cherrim then boosts that to 80 or maybe 90, and the plus powers can go even further beyond. So really cool stuff with that. It's also pretty bulky and it doesn't have much for retreat cost, so that's also nice. Both Cherrim and Scizor only have a 1 energy retreat, so Unknown Q is a one-off in this deck so that we can have a 0 retreat Cherrim or something to go into after a KO. Our Cypher also has 0 retreat, so we can go into like Chatot at the start of the turn if we want, but also it's really good at the beginning of the game for pressure, because Swords Dance into a 60 damage slashing strike KOs a lot of things, so we can just do some really nasty early game stuff too. You may wonder why one Uxie is in here. This deck kind of runs out of steam a little bit, because you don't have the same sort of setup engine and like consistent draw that the other decks do, because we can't play a draw engine. So we maybe need to play this on occasion. I still think the Scizor is respectable even when it's only on its like 40 or 30 damage thing. Once you've got a couple of Cherrim in play, that's still like 60, which 60 for 2 is a good conversion number. But the Uxie can also Psychic Restore and potentially get through dumb stuff like Gengar, which will otherwise really mess you up. So there is that going forward as well. One Chatot in case we do need an early draw start here as well. I don't expect to use this very often, but we can 0 retreat into it, so there is that. Otherwise, just a lot of consistency bits in here for Quick Ball, because we don't have a ton of different Pokemon we want to pick up, so it's usually going to be relatively live. Decent amount of draw stuff here. Not entirely sure if Force Symphonious Feelings is like required, but there isn't much of like that's better in this format. I don't think Raw Draw is really going to work that well in here because we don't have good Raw Draw cards, so here's what it is. But we do also have access to Pokeblower as well as the drawer, so Pokeblower is Gust of Wind if you play 2 at the same time. Potentially also can knock out Gengar with the damage counter if you just play 1 and flip heads though, so there is also some potential for that if you are just shy. So that is deck. Yep, just plain and simple power. We don't have any of our like Pokepower stuff in here, but I think that is perfectly fine for what I want to do. Alright, let's bring ourselves over to the table. I can let Psy know that we are done if he doesn't see. What are we up to? Yeah, so this is kind of why I didn't necessarily want to go. I'm not sure why the Weavile is in. I guess Acceleration. I don't know why the Weavile is in here, but AMU is an interesting pick this round. Gengar Crest just like beats that, right? I don't know. That's an interesting one. Yeah, the Tyranitar is probably kind of annoying to deal with for it, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, yeah, I really want Land mid-level X, but that's next set, so we kind of can't deal with that. So we'll tell Psy we're ready. We will undeafen. Hello.
Alright, ready to go?
Yeah, I will admit I would not have expected AMU coming from Matt this round. I would have expected Gengar Crest or some shit, but you know, pretty sure Gengar Crest actually just beats AMU, but I haven't actually tested that matchup, admittedly, so not really sure where it would go. Alright, what would you like?
Let's go Tails.
Tails it is. Alright, good luck, sir. Let's see what we can do. This like Cherubi's actually kinda nasty for 1 energy, you know.
Problem is his hand's not very good. Go ahead.
Okay. Right. Well, we will draw. Okay. I think I need to get myself properly started here, so I do have double drawers, so we will be starting that way. Yeah, we'll be starting off fairly strong here, I think. See what we can do. Okay, so think we need that. Let's go for these two, I think. So pull these up. We will go for Roseanne here. I mean, I guess not much of a surprise, but get ourselves going with, oh, not an energy, with Cypher and the Unknown Q. We will attach to the Cypher. We'll use the Unknown Q so this has no retreat. We will go with Cherrim on the bench. 0 retreat out and Swords Dance to make Slashing Strike 60 next turn.
Cynthia's feelings.
Okay.
No, I can't do anything with this.
Sorry, dude. Yeah. Okay, we'll just start again. Yeah,
Don't get any energy. Don't get any.
Yeah. Wait, no.
Prizes weren't atrocious.
There's a reset button that we can use now. Doesn't reset the hand specifically, but yeah, there's a reset button that you click to confirm on. Okay. Yeah, apologies on. I mean, I guess I can't help it, but apologies on that. Well, you get a mulligan this time, so.
Eh?
Yeah, so this kind of reveals a bit from last time. I actually picked up a Pokeblower from the drawer, so I was gonna gust in the if you evolved to Claydol, I was gonna gust it in. So wow. Yeah, okay. Nope.
Okay, another one.
That would have been really good as a hand too, because I could have Roseanne for the energy, so that would have been amazing. Yeah, sound reset button, there you go. Alright, we actually have something this time, so... yeah. Right, what would you like?
Go Tails again, I guess?
Yeah. Alright, well, this guy's a fair bit better, so... Yeah, I can't really moan too much about mulligan. There's 10 basics in here, so I guess it's, like, not the worst, but... yeah.
Do I want to play that down? That's an awkward question. Can I afford not to?
That is the other question, isn't it?
I don't think I can afford not to.
Okay, that's Cyclone, right? So
yeah,
okay. I mean, I know it doesn't really matter. It's just like making sure because I'm not as used to the new artwork for the energies than what we used to have. Okay, like I prefer the new artworks to be honest. I'm just not as used to it. Right. We will attach. We will Roseanne. See what we can do from here. Okay, looks respectable. This is one of those where I could potentially take like Chatot, I suppose, and get a good Shuffle Draw 7, but I'm not sure if that's actually the right idea here. I'm gonna grab a Cherrim, and I'm actually gonna grab Uxie. Not playing
Draw is good.
Yeah, draw is good. I'm not going to play it at the moment, but I think that is fine. And we will Swords Dance to end the turn here. It's a lot of pressure early on this thing, so... and that gets rid of the pressure. Oh well. Does force you to switch as well. You can't do that from the active slot, right?
Oh, out from the bench. Okay.
Go
that's my
ahead
bad.
and just go ahead and. All right. If you're sure.
Sorry. It's my own fault.
Okay.
We'll work with it.
I mean, you did get rid of my Swords Dance at least, so I can't Slashing Strike for KO next turn. At least not with what's currently out.
Roseanne's?
Yep. Understandable DNA. It's one of those things you do like maybe once and never again, right? Yep.
Touch the Psychic. Then we'll pass.
Okay. We will draw. Huh. I mean, that's cool, but I can't really do much within that. Let's go Cherrim at the very least. So we have plus 10 damage on our guys. Just trying to think where's the big punish here. I think I need to try and be aggressive here anyway. We're going to attach, we're going to retreat, I'm going to plus power, and I'm going to Slashing Strike for 50, because the Cherrim gives me the last 10. Yep.
Down Claydol. Put these two to the bottom.
Okay.
Oh, this is just one card away from being perfect. Can still possibly make this work. Arcano is the problem. Actually, can't really play this hand down much more, and that's the problem. Just have to hope I draw it then.
Oh, yep, okay. That's, yeah, because you had the KO last turn, so yeah. It's a lot of cards. It always surprises me on the stuff there. It's just like, hot damn, that's a lot of cards. Ah, fuck. Yeah, okay.
Anything else I can do right now? Not really. Ambush.
Ah, of course. Damn it. Oh, well.
Oh,
No.
it's 60?
It's 60,
Oh, I thought
yeah.
it was 70.
No, this one's only 60, so get your prize, good sir.
Okay.
Fuck. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, win and lose on a 50-50, right? We'll quit ball. Okay, and then Q, that's
60 is
fine.
fairly squishy for that sort of thing.
Not really, but... Well, bench and attach. Yeah, this is like the only time where that 60 HP is actually matters because you flipped heads. Which is, you know, just the way it goes. Not a lot that I like out of this hand, to be honest. I think I'm gonna have to do it as much as I don't like to here. I'm gonna double Pokeblower the Claydol in. I was really hoping to have just gotten this and just like Uxie for Scizor or something and just killed you last turn, but you know, heads flip is a heads flip. We are gonna have to use the Uxie here, so I will set up and draw 6. I would have had it too, that's so depressing. Damn it. Oh well, it's fine, it's fine. I guess we'll still 0 retreat in, because I'm gonna have to go this way around here. It's a little bit annoying because it's not gonna kill or anything, but we're fine. We'll put the Cherrim down. Yeah, because I did get the Scizor, so it's like typical. Put a grass energy down on this one. Let's go for Roseanne here. Yeah, because I would have been able to do it. Even with the Uxie down, it would have been fine. Let's just grab Cypher Grass here. So, bench you this into hand because I've attached this turn. And the only other thing to do is Salty Sweet Pollen for currently 50. Because you've got a Grass Weakness, so...
Hey. Dust Noir.
Yeah! Should have realized.
Scizor.
Yep.
Roseanne's research.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't have enough, because that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's my mistake. I should have realized not to, Ah, dear. Yeah, I should have just not benched the Cypher. Mm-hmm.
I can't get this out, so
Okay.
we'll just have to make the most of it. Put these two in the bottom. Down a Dust Skull,
Okay.
and then we will call energy.
Sure.
It's up to 2, right?
Up to 2, yeah.
Just making sure in case there's a...
Yeah.
Grab these two.
Sure. Alrighty, let's see what we can do. Yeah, pretty straightforward / boring turn here. We'll attach to the Cypher and we will wager.
Pretty good wager, honestly.
Well, we'll see if that ends up being the case. Nope. Alright, well, 3 to 6, so... Okay, we will... Yeah, we'll quick ball here. Oh, yeah, sure. Cherrim number 2. Yeah, let's just put the Scizor down now, because this time I can't get Dart Palmed, so we're fine with that. And, yeah, we're just gonna have to take the knockout here. I'd rather not go to one that has a retreat cost, so we'll just KO with the Cherrim here.
What do I want to go in here?
That is the question.
Honestly... It's a hard choice.
Goal is not to make it easy for you. Yep.
Psychic Energy, Rare Candy, Dust Noir, Claydol.
Yeah, just wagered into everything. Oh well, not much I could do.
I did have the Claydol pre-wager, so it's... Draw our 4. Alright, I will Aqualiner the Scizor.
Alright, so that's just 10 on that, right? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay. We will draw. Okay. I will attach to the Scizor, 0 retreat, and accelerate for the KO to give myself immunity to everything next turn. I have 2 Cherrim in play, so it's doing 50 right now. Yep.
Okay. Roseanne's research.
Yep. Jeez.
Actually, no, I don't want to touch that one yet. What I want to do...
Sure.
Right, that's... Is that everything I can do right now? That is everything I can do right now, and then we will hard feelings for the knockout.
Yep. Alright, let's draw. We will Roseanne. Would be nice to, you know, go for something else with it there, but honestly, with the way this hand is, just grabbing Cypher Grass is probably good enough. So we'll bench that. Yeah, this is attached here, so that's fine. Bench it. Energy. Yep, energy on the Cypher. And now that I don't have a Pokemon with Poké Power in play, we will pound down for 90 damage.
Tap Psychic Energy. We will put this at the bottom.
Yep.
Okay. Luxury Ball.
It's pretty good. DNA is saying, sir, that's 7 cards that you've gotten from your Claydol.
Oh shit, hang on then. Put that back in.
Which one was your 7th? It would have
My
been the card on the far right. wouldn't it?
Roseanne's Research.
Okay. Right, that's fine. Continue.
Sorry.
That's alright, I'm just, yeah, this is DNA call that I didn't. I'll admit.
No, that is my mistake, I'm bad. Sorry. I think it just hit the one next to it.
Yep. Luxury Ball cannot get level X's.
Wait, can I not? Oh, shit. Okay. My bad. Don't do that, sorry.
That's alright. It's been a while since we've had Silvio's network.
Okay, then I need to reorder things.
Alright, there you go.
Need to think here. Actually, this might work out better. Do it. This way, the thing. I want these two.
I mean, you don't have to show me, but sure. Since it's not a specific search, you don't have to show me anything
Oh,
of this,
sorry.
but...
And night maintenance.
Uh-huh.
I've already attached, I think, this turn to this guy.
Yeah, I believe you did, because I think you used that to get an extra card off of Claydol, right?
Yes.
Yeah, DNA's confirming that.
Uxie.
Yep.
Hey, that's not really helpful. Cynthia's feelings.
Mm-hmm. So just 4 this time because I didn't KO last turn.
Warp point.
Sure. You don't actually switch in first, but sure.
No,
I mean, I guess this is probably the biggest one, so yeah, we'll do that.
Shadow command.
Yep. So draw 2 damage counters on it. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't to the back, it was to the Cyclone on the active, right, that you do? Or was that the previous turn? That would have been the previous turn.
Previous turn.
Sorry, I'm just thinking, yeah, because there's 2 Cyclone on and that's unusual, so I was just like, hang on a
Yeah,
second.
I had the cycle in the first turn. I didn't want to.
Yeah. It's okay, I still get the thing with it, it just, I'm just keeping track of myself.
We will pass turn.
Alright, so that's gonna put a damage counter on these 2 because they have an energy card on them. But the others don't, so we're fine. We'll draw. I mean, at this point, I might as well just put the thing on because we do have another Scizor. So there is that. I think here we just go Salty Sweet, and so it puts 40 on here, and I heal 20 off of this guy, which, I mean, I guess it's effectively just going to be the same thing here, because this guy's going to go to 10, this is going to go to 20, so we'll just do it this way around. Like, big deal, really, they're exactly the same, but whatever. We'll just make it easy here. Yep.
Psychic energy. Baby
Put your card back.
Yes.
I mean, again, don't have to show, but...
This one can get a level X, so
it can, yeah. Okay. Wait. Yeah, so, yeah, I guess it's the Mewtwo you showed me there. It's just like, yeah, okay. Uh-huh.
Put this at the bottom. Alright, Darkness Mist.
So that's going to do 60. And then these are still going to get chipped up because of the... wait, no, not 30. Not yet, anyway. Alright, we will draw. Okay. Yeah, a bit of an annoying one. Just trying to think what's even the best way around. I think the best bet, it's irritating, but I guess the best bet is probably just to do the same thing again and just go Salty Sweet and heal this guy. So it puts it at 80, and then these get ticked up. Of course you've got both the remaining two Poké drawers again. Of course you do. I mean, I guess it's the deck is relatively thin, so... But, like, yeah, of course you've drawn all 4 in 2 pairs each. In a game where I have yet to see a single one, actually. So, you know, of course. Again, you don't need to show, but...
Debating where this one goes.
Thank you, Sidewave, for the continued support here. Card indeed.
Little Darkness Mist for the KO?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, now I've got to go in with stuff that has retreat, so sure. And then these get ticked up because of the thing of having energy. Alright, let's draw. We will bench another Cherrim and Cynthia's for 8. I think Night Maintenance of my own is probably pretty good here. We'll grab ourselves, yeah, the Cherrim, and honestly, yeah, Cypher is pretty good. I think probably just the Cherrim. I kind of want to grab Uxie, but I also don't think it's that important here. So we'll just do that. And then, yeah, as annoying as it's gonna be, I think we do just need to... Hang on, how much are you at? You're at that. And yeah, I don't have enough Cherrim in play, so I am just gonna have to use Pound Down for the 80 here to knock out. Yep. So that goes. There's a button for discarding. We will take our prize here. And now I've got to put the damage counter on everything between turns, right? Because of the stadium?
Yep.
That does technically put the Scizor in range of its ability, but it doesn't affect damage counters, so it's not going to affect this guy. But if you were to somehow be able to attack with the other Dusknoir, I would take 40 less damage. Woo.
Put down that.
Yep.
Shadow Command.
Yep. And then discard
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, discard 1.
Put the damage counters on it for you.
Thank you. This damage even might be becoming relevant soon.
Possibly, yeah. Discard 2? Oh, it's... Discard until you have 6 left in hand, so you actually had 8 cards. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, discard a second one. Not a problem.
Yeah. Again, this is me not counting the cards in your hand properly.
And then we will actually use one of these.
Sure, put the card back in.
Yeah. What's going to go in is that one. Should probably grab this out just in case.
Sure.
Put these two bottom.
Alright. Draw 3. Yeah, I know, right, DNA, totally an illegal move, but it's fine. Imagine counting cards in... yeah, whatever.
Alright, and then we'll hard feelings for the KO.
Yep, so you get your prize, we do that, this goes in, damage counters get placed, and we get our 2, draw, baby search, put back you, well, know if I'm gonna need out the other Cherrim, but I might as well get the other Cherrim here. So we do that, and
oh no, I've lost this.
accelerate for the KO.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because accelerate means that I don't take anything this turn, so you have to force me out.
I don't have a foresight left. Yeah, no.
No warp points or anything, then I take it.
No, but there is one thing I can do.
Draw first?
Oh.
Yep. Oh yeah, I've got to put the damage counters on as well. That's fine.
This is going to rely on you not having an energy, and no. I think you have energy. Do I have any hope here? No.
I'll tell you what, it was worse than me just having energy. You needed hand disruption that turn because I had double blower in hand, so I was gonna just gust something on the bench and KO that instead.
Close though.
Yeah, definitely close. Yeah, rough time of things in a way. I have no stadium cards I could bounce this with, so it was always going to be a race on the clock at that point. But you know, such is the way. But yeah, I was looking at it going, if you don't hand disrupt me and warp point me out, then I probably just win because I have.
Yeah, I didn't have anything left.
Yeah.
I had to play that Cyclone the first turn. I needed the energy.
Yep. Yeah, pretty close though. This deck is really cool, to be honest. Definitely up there in. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a favorite. It's a pretty straightforward deck, but it's powerful and it didn't break. So that's one thing.
Being immune to damage counters is also.
Yeah, it's full on agility. You can see what I was trying to do a lot of the times, though. I was like, okay, if I can do this, I can set up for accelerate kills. And then you KO'd by Uxie, so I was like, oh, that's great. I don't have to waste a turn bouncing that back in the deck, you know. That was another one I was just like, nice, good timing for the warp point and stuff there, too.
Oh, well. I did what I had to.
Oh, yeah, no, it's all good. I don't blame you on that. I was just thinking that's actually helpful for me in this situation, so... Okay, so it's a good job I did play Tyranitar looking at this, because I was considering it, and, you know...
KMU is going to be an interesting matchup for Dust Noir as well.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one. I think you two would do well to play that way. Obviously, I was considering Gengar Crest as another one because honestly, it really should be looked at because the card is just really gross. Ironically, this isn't quite as big of a problem I think as before, but ironically, Pepper getting Kingdra banned the previous round makes Gengar more powerful this round, right? Because you can discard your trainer cards in the hand with Kingdra and you do a bunch of spread and stuff around, right? So
One of the things I also noticed is, what the hell does this do against aggro Machamp?
the way
Takes out level X's, right?
yeah, if they're yeah, because they're not evolved. Yeah, currently the way that I'm seeing it here, absolutely nothing. It just immediately dies. Which I'm not necessarily that surprised about, to be honest. This also probably dies to Gengar Crest. I'm pretty sure Gengar Crest has got a super favorable matchup into it here.
Ghosts in general, yeah.
Well, I mean, as Elf Level X prevents weakness, so it's not so much about that, it's more the fact that Gengar for 1 energy just puts 6 counters down on one of the other things, and Crest then just puts one of the counters you have somewhere onto the opponent, onto the 70 HP guy and just kills it. So, yeah, that's pretty much all it is. I think it just, without Unknown G, I think, and several of them, this deck just loses to Gengar Crest, I think. And even if they do punch through, they only punch through with damage, which means that Fainting Spell can still work. I'm pretty sure Fainting Spell, yeah, because Mesprit I'm pretty sure is the opponent's next turn. Not until then, so you should still be able to Fainting Spell if they put a Mesprit down and go Supreme Blast.
They'll probably be joining us in a second, or we can go join them.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're playing it, so I didn't have to. Because I was considering it as one of the, 12 decks I was considering this thing.
Wasn't I expecting to see AMU, though?
No, honestly, I was expecting Gengar. I'll be totally clear with that.
Yeah, and I was just not gonna. I don't really care what today. I'm just gonna run whatever city thing I haven't played yet. So
That's fair.
My only concern with the AMU right now is something I was talking about with Cal there. What the hell do you do against aggro Machamp?
well, you hit it for weakness.
Yeah.
But you also get one shot.
And then you die. Yes.
I think that's kind of an expectation for AMU when you're rocking 90 to 110.
It's
I would
not.
say-
It's not the 90 to 110. And it's the problem. It's the fact that your basics.
Well, that's
Well,
what I
I
mean,
think
though,
what
is
he
when
means is that
when
you're
your health is
likely
low, you're
No,
expecting to get
your
killed
health
anyway.
doesn't matter.
You don't quite understand. Machamp doesn't do damage to basics. It
I don't
KOs
think
them
you
outright.
guys understand. He's trying to say that because he has such low HP, he's expecting to get KO'd anyway, which I think is actually wrong in this format. I think a lot of things are topping out in the 80-ish range, so you can live things sometimes. What
guess
sets
that's
apart
fair.
Machamp is how cheaply it does it. Because it's just
Yeah,
one
that's
energy KO and nothing does that, not even Kingdra.
Yeah, I would be curious to play the matchup. I would think, I mean, AMU is really fast, so I would not be all that surprised if it was pretty favorable, but what do I
I
know?
don't
I
think
guess
you stand a chance. I'll be totally honest with you. I don't have the deck really built, but I don't see how you stand a chance.
I would say I thought both AMU and Machamp were being saved for next week, so
I guess I'm thinking too, Machamp being ×2 weak to Psychic, since that's just the way it is in Modern, but I imagine that's not the case.
It's plus
probably
30.
plus 30.
Yep.
Yeah, so that certainly hurts a lot.
see.
Unknown G all of your guys, or you are instantly dead. That's it. 4 Unknown G in the deck, or you don't ever have any chance of winning that. And even with that, you probably still lose, but at least you don't take damage from its 1 energy attack at that point.
Yeah, I guess maybe the other point in favor is people weren't going to play Machamp this week.
No, but I
Yeah,
was going to
basic
play.
plus.
Being a thing.
No, but I was going to play Gengar Crest, and you also lose that matchup almost as well. Just about anyway. Outside of your big 200, you don't do nearly enough, and I have Crest, so all of your 70 HP guys just get deleted because you don't have Unknown G. So that one's also just every turn you die, and then if you kill me, oh, oops, I flipped heads, you die as well. So
Right, yeah.
you basically can't, well, if there's any remote luck on side, you can't win that matchup either.
Yeah, Gengar is pretty scary.
Gengar is undisputably best deck in this format. Like, it's the same sort of thing as Kingdra last week, and honestly, Kingdra, ironically, is probably relatively good against it, because you discard your trainers and stuff, right? So, you don't get poltergeisted randomly. But, yeah, no, it's basically undisputed best deck in this format. There are checks to it, and, I mean, I'm playing one of them today, but it warps everything so radically around it, and even its checks can die. The Tyranitar deck over here can still lose because you just flip heads on Feigning Spell, and then it's all over, right? So it's at worst slightly unfavorable against something in the format, but it dominates almost everything, to be totally honest with you.
That's fair. Yeah, Feigning Spell is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's everything on the card, right? The only thing it's not got is more than 110 HP, but it's like, it's no retreat, it attacks for almost no energy. Poltergeist is a little bit sketch this round because we don't have a way of seeing the opponent's hand first, and there's no like trainer locking that we could do early for it, so it's a little sketch to do that, but you don't need it because you just Shadow Room everything. There's so many powers going around in almost all of the decks here that you just room. And that's all you need to do, really. The crest makes it so that the Uxies and everything don't really survive because, oh no, 70 HP, well, I'll just move a damage counter over and then kill you. You know? So you can take cheap prizes without much of a problem, and then you just flip heads once or twice and the opponent's big attacker also dies. So it's, yeah, more than just a little bit oppressive this round. But despite having what I think is like 59 out of 60 cards right for it, I didn't want to bring it really, because I'm not a fan of the deck, I'll be honest. I've played it a fair bit, and it's just like so annoying, you know.
I just hate the entire concept of Fating Spell.
Yeah.
Something that effectual should not be on a coin flip.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, such is the way. Right, Psy, you wanted to see how your deck fared against Matt's one from what we were talking, so yeah,
and
let's
avoid an awkward weakness matchup, so
yeah, that's true, so yeah, let's do the old shuffle on that side, I suppose. I'm gonna remove this zone over here real quick so I don't have to worry about that later. Oh, you moved already, sorry. It's okay, I'll shift back. I had my deck set over, so I was just like, oh yeah, this will be fine, I'll just move. And then you'd already done it before me because I'm silly. Alright, let's see how this goes, because your idea of this was a fair bit different looking to what I had, so we'll see what that ends up doing here. What would we like?
heads.
I swear I am never going first this round, it's so funny. Yeah, see, I would not have put the the Weavile in here, so this is already an interesting one just from that alone.
Yeah, I found a list for this on Top Cut, so Jimmy Gallard warning.
Yeah.
Call for family.
You see, you say that, DNA, but I actually kind of wanted to go first this game because I would have had a turn 1 Swords Dance, right? Yeah, but I'm weird. It's only with this deck, to be totally honest with you. I don't normally necessarily want to go first with everything, but with this deck in particular, I'm like, yeah, this would have been really good to have gone first. Okay. So we have absolutely everything on board, which is fun. I will Roseanne. see where we go from here. I think we're gonna grab Cherrim and I'll keep Uxie in the back for now.
The boys,
The
Cherrim.
boy! Yeah, but it's like so good though.
It is a good art, yeah.
It's a pretty good art because it's on the little rock and it's just like, that's kind of cute, but it's also just the attacks are actually kind of solid. Right, so yeah, Uxie in hand, we have Cypher down here. I will go ahead and attach. I might as well anyway. I might as well put Swords Dance in play here just in case I'm not getting blown up next turn anyway. So yeah, we'll Swords Dance here.
Okay. Listies.
Yep.
Discard your darkness, basic darkness.
Those are never coming out the discard again.
I know, it is like, hang on a minute, wait a minute.
You might get one.
This is not a deck which uses powers, apparently.
I will just say now, I have exactly 2 powers in this deck, and you've seen one of them. Yep.
Special darkness on the Larvitar.
Yep.
Pay retreat to Weavile.
Sure.
Gonna have to attach these myself. Good.
Special Dark is another one I actually don't agree with in here, but we'll get there. I can kind of see why, but I don't agree with it.
Look at these prizes.
This deck has 2 powers, setup and another setup. Not true, actually. Okay. Alright, let's see what we can do. Yeah, it technically has 2 different powers, because I have an Q in here as well. Yeah, this is the Dark Engage Weavile, yeah, to Shadow Charge this stuff on. Okay, let's think about this for a sec. I am like so close to greatness here, and I'm just I don't know which way around I want to go for this. Yeah, sure, we'll quit ball here. Alright, that's pretty good. So we'll get the lady down. How much do we want to go for it? I do have the second energy, so there is that. How much do we go to end your life right now? Fuck it, no gamble, no future, right? Put the Scizor down, and I will Uxie for 6. Got it, okay. Drawer times 2. So... I actually haven't deck searched yet, so I should probably do that. Let me just double check. Yeah, that is okay, and it is 50 HP. Right? Okay, we're fine. So we grab that. It's kind of weird because I actually don't know what the other grab is here. I was only kind of looking for one card. I don't actually know what the other one's supposed to be. You know what? That's probably fine as well. So these into hand. I probably shouldn't have bothered shuffling because I do have a Roseanne, but that's fine. It is what it is. Cherub and... Do we just grab double Cherub? I mean, I could, because there's space. Yeah, fuck it, we'll grab double Cherrim. Right, Q onto there. Bench these two. Double Pokeblow at the Larvitar. And accelerate for KO and immunity next turn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not bothering.
Yep. Yeah, I swapped the Super Scoops for Double Blower, and I have not regretted that at all today. It's been amazing. Yeah, so I had myself ready enough that I could do Psychic Restore at pretty much any point I wanted there, so I could get the extra power online. Prizes were fine. There was one in the prizes, but it didn't matter. Like, I think both my wager were in the prizes, but such is the way. And yeah, this deck is cool. I don't know.
Right. This needs Synthias. Like, I don't know what the fuck Battle is thinking not bringing any Synthias in his list.
Aye.
I did make changes, but this needs Synthias so badly.
Okay, first off, hello Gnome. Second off, DNA's was like, how you just committed a violence. It didn't say stop, but you just committed a violence. And I'm like, oh yeah. I was just looking at it going, there's no way that I don't just win this pretty much on the spot if I get rid of that.
Maybe I should have played safer and gone for Stabilize at Bebe something, but
maybe.
I knew I was never getting energy on that game otherwise, so
yeah.
I thought I'd prize free energy. I just had to get the energy on ASAP.
Yeah. I don't blame you for that at all. Like, I think you did need to go for something big, considering this deck just kind of explodes your face if you give it any sort of time. But yeah, I was just like, I have one blower in my opening hand here. If I Uxie for like almost all my cards, and if I get just one of the remaining ones or the drawers for it, or like something to go in, I'm just like, I have it. Yeah.
Yeah, blow is so good in this deck. I agree.
Yeah, so these were initially Super Scoop Up because I was like, well, you scoop the Uxie up, right? And then that stops you from having the debuff on it. And then I realized, the fuck does it matter? This thing still does like 60 for 2 on average if you get your setup proper. And that's still pretty strong on something with 100 HP. So I'm like, the hell does it matter? I'm setting up for Accelerate knockouts and stuff here, so...
Foot for a second there, sorry.
So I was just like, yeah, I don't really care. I'm if I Psychic Restore at some point, that's fine, and you know I can get my damage up back. But the Uxie is here to do the burst option, and I mean that's it. Exactly what we saw with it there. It just immediately bursted down, and it was like, that's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted it for. So I'm really happy with the one including here. I don't think you want to play more because you obviously don't want to start with it or anything, but I think the single Uxie in here is actually really, really strong and has made this deck a lot better.
Yeah, like, I see the problem with this list. It's greed. This list is so much greed. Like, Tyranitar looks amazing, but it comes down late enough a lot of the time that your opponent only has all that powers in play until facing another greed deck.
Yeah, so the thing is, right, it's really, really good against enemy Claydol, especially, because they do have to go in, and if they do, and you wouldn't want to Unknown G when this thing comes in, but it's like, if that has to be a thing, then any Unknown that gets played after this comes down will also trigger it, so it's like, also, you know, the late trio can trigger it that way as well. There's a lot of good stuff that it can do, especially because Claydol is like everywhere basically, but then what happens in the one deck that doesn't play Claydol, right? It's just like I feel
like my list has just been on the bad end of both lists games had today, because one is no power thing, the other is that despite technically being a resistance matchup, Supreme blasted hell for this build.
Yeah,
because one of the things I took from Bad's list was these.
Yeah, I looked at that and I was like, huh. I think this is drawer in my version of the stuff here.
Like, it is probably too greedy, but at the same time, these are make sure you actually keep a T-Tar around late game.
Yeah.
Because you bleed prizes, so you actually do need this thing to live.
DNA was just saying in the chat as well for the play there, it's like, I'm pretty sure I could hear your brain screaming, it's fire! You know, when I got the blower and stuff there, it's just like, yeah. So this is what I ended up making myself. This was my own source on stuff, not like making anything else with it.
I mean, I
don't know.
I'd make change to the course, but like the Darkrai was actually I added myself.
I didn't actually play Drawer in this deck either because I couldn't find space for it in the end because I wanted all the Felicity for the extra Drawer in here. I don't know if it's good, to be honest. I mean, it certainly is a terrifying threat to go against if you get that Darkrai out. So like maybe you do need the second copy of that in play as well, or like just to try and pull it out, because this thing is just a menace when it comes to that bit. It's 3 to fire. Yeah, I mean, fire 3, whatever. It doesn't matter. It works out. Yeah, no, like, there's a lot of really cool things it does. I disagree with the special dot because it's just like, your Tyranitar can't attach them. And that, I mean, you've also got much less energy, I suppose. But, like, your T-Tar only has, like, 9 possible targets. And most of those are going to be in play by the time anything happens. So, I don't know. It's like, I didn't agree with that when I was making stuff. I found that just basic dot was better in here, to be totally honest. But, yeah, other than that, I don't really know. I guess I had the Regis, so I could just discard out the hand as well. It really was just, like...
The other interesting is the patch of Risus, which I ran because I was getting which were in the original list. I originally dropped them, but then noticed I was getting a lot of extra slow Sableye only starts, like just like I didn't have enough to get going properly, especially with the Darkrai in there. It just needs so many moving pieces to get going. The patch actually makes complete sense. But...
So, Pal, I understand. Yeah, running the special dark is important if you've got the full set of the Sableye. Maybe I get that. But at the same time, there's a couple of problems. One, 60 HP is not bigger than the majority of the basics that are not just like... If they're evolving ones, sure. But like 60 is not big enough to really deal most of the stuff that way. And two, this deck is around Tyranitar, which can only attach basic darks from the discard. And as I have found the hard way when playing Togekiss with this kind of energy build and playing special metals in there, you end up not getting enough of the actual energy that you can attach with the T-Tar when you try and do that sort of thing. So I personally think that the basic darks are probably just better in here, and then use the Darkrai level X to get the extra damage output. But maybe that's me, I don't know.
I do think building this portal lineup does need a shuffle around.
We've played a bunch at the midweek, so we know what we're playing.
Like, I'm also thinking, maybe, like, is it heresy to drop Claydol in this for Cynthias and just expect to bleed out early game? Because I'm looking at this list, I want to fit in Cynthias, but I don't see what spores you could drop. But at the same time, I wasn't getting much Claydol action either in my games today. That might just be because I was getting Psychic Binded to hell and back, but...
Can we get that list out as well real quick, actually, Matt? Because probably we'll need to, you know, leave things early here, because I do need to get food as well. But I just want to have a look-see with what you had with this, because I built it last round, which obviously didn't have Pokédrawers and stuff that way. But I just want to see like where the evolution of this deck comes from, I guess, and also just double-check this as well. Right, okay, yeah, during the opponent's next turn. I was just wanting to double check the wording so I could be like, check whether or not you could just like bench this and go, yeah, I'm gonna stop you fainting spelling, but no, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, so I just wanted to double check.
About that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did, but I just wanted to double check. Wow, there's a lot.
One interesting thing that I noticed that didn't actually come up but might have, is that, read upper material. It's symmetrical.
Yeah. It certainly is. That's a lot of energy in here, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, did that work out alright? Like, were you flooded with them at any point, or is it...
Maybe once or twice, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure why the list is to play 14. That does seem like a little bit much.
The lists I've seen played like 10. So I was like, that's interesting to me.
I have to think it's to ensure early attaches, because the amount of draw power behind the rest of the deck means that it's going to find everything else anyway. But That's just
Yeah.
my thoughts.
Definitely have a ton of outside energy.
Yeah.
Windows drawer goes in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, I was playing 10, I think it was like, okay, so you'll laugh at this one because it was a tech pick of the week. Last set, I played 8 Psychic and 2 Multi, because my Multi was for the 1-1 Mighty Enna in case somebody joked around and was dumb enough to bring Mewtwo level X, because Mighty Enna tells Mewtwo level X to sit down and, you know, play dead. So I was like, yeah, I'm not taking any chances because I know you guys are like that.
I was thinking about it. If I bought the Reggies today, I was gonna bring it with Mewtwo.
You were looking at Armado with Mewtwo just to say no to everybody last round. So I know you jokers are like that. So I was thinking, nah, I need something, at least like a little thing to try and stand a chance against that guy. And so yeah, that's what I came up with in the end for it. It was very silly, but you know, such is the way.
I want to bring Rick this week, so I thought there'd be Gengar as well, and it'd be sad times.
Matt won because I drew dead, but I did also reveal the thing that would just stop any game if I got it out.
Oh
Mewtwo
yeah.
level X, just...
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. So, yeah, the way this... I mean, I don't blame it again, but the way this list is sort of set up, it's like, yeah, there's no unknown G whatsoever, which is kind of the way I thought this would go. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Gengar just rips this one in two. Maybe Snowpoint Temple can help, but I have one Stadium in the deck, so I guess it's probably not enough for that. But I'll bring it out, actually, because it's just over here.
Snowpoint was funny in my first game, because I had to reset because I forgot Down Material exists and misplayed with Sableye.
Yeah, that would do it. So
it's no point. It's like, okay, I then play for knockout. Your Larvitar for knockout. No point.
Nope.
No point, my Larvitar.
Yeah, so I think this list is actually like about 59 card, right? The Speed Stadium's the only weird one, but I didn't want to give my opponent Moonlight Stadium. So I wanted something that would out that silly Dusknoir, which is the one thing my actual deck this week, this is a Cherrim thing, can't do. But I think there maybe would be a benefit to having another stadium. I think first off, I had Snowpoint in here actually just to give Cress a little bit more longevity, and that would have helped in one of the other matchups I was testing myself this week. But I don't know, there wasn't a good stadium that wasn't Moonlight, and Moonlight's not very good in here because your Cress is like 1 retreat, Gengar's 0, and it's just like, you give the opponent the opportunity to have 0 retreat. That seems like really, really bad, so I don't know. I didn't really have anything else better, but that is just kind of it. I ended up cutting the second Speed Stadium for another Unknown G because I realized just how important that was going to be this week. Like, it makes Dusknoir sit down as one, it makes other Gengar sit down as another one, right? Because you can't put damage counters on something that has Unknown G attached. So one of the big things this week was playing as many of this as possible that doesn't clog up your deck too much, because then it stops the Gengar from actually just tearing your entire board apart. Like, Claydol is just a sitting duck if you don't put it on. The late trio are just a single Cresselia ping away from dying in one shot, unless you've got Snowpoint down. And it also makes sure, in the Gengar thing, it makes sure the opponent has to go through Fainting Spell in order to actually, you know, do anything there. So
It wouldn't have worked out this week, but would this run Boundary as its stadium? Because Dark is not very common of a weakness.
yeah. When you have Looker available to see the opponent's hand, so you know when a...
yeah, because it enables pop. Shadow being countered is probably the reason not to. But when you're running Speed Stadium as your alternative...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what better stadium was there, though? All the stadiums at the moment are type-based, right? So it's just like, there wasn't a good one. Like, maybe Miasma next week as well could be a thing, but it's like...
Next week we got Broken Time Space. That would probably
exactly, you just BTS instead. But yeah, we were just at that one bit where it's like, we don't have the good stadium to sort of put in its place, and I wanted something to be able to at least put a check on it, because Dusknoir doesn't, well, just one level X as a stadium doesn't care about your unknown, so it's just a case of, yeah, you want to make sure that you don't just lose to that over the course of the turns, because, yeah, Night Spin is still annoying. You don't really want to have to deal with that as much. Yeah, but this list for this week was almost completely perfect, I think. There was just like maybe one card, and it is just a stadium, just like one card off that maybe dinged in, but yeah, it has its checks. Like, it is checked by what I bought today in the Scizor Cherrim. It is checked by the other list I have down here, actually, that I very nearly bought, because I worked on this one quite a lot, and I like it a lot. I just was like, I've played this a hell of a lot in the midweek here. The Starmie Electrode is like super cool, because Gengar can't fainting spell you if you no longer exist on the board. So this actually just gets to a point where you just have like a Claydol with Unknown G on it, and a couple of, you have like 2 Staryu and a Starmie out at pretty much any time, and you just like, you Core Blast when you can, and then when one's about to die, you Star Boomerang and pick it up. And if it KOs with that, that's great. Then the Starmie's no longer on the field, and you don't die to Fainting Spell. But against everything else, you're using Star Boomerang with like 4+ powers, ideally, to do 70, bounce all of those back to hand, because it's plus power attaches at this generation. And then you go into the Electrode with an Unknown G, so they can't damage counter shenanigans it. And the opponent has to damage it and take a full suite of damage counters next turn. And if they do that, Electrode also paralyzes with its attack as well. So this was the deck I worked on a lot, and I actually do really like it in this format. But
I didn't realize plus power would bounce back like that.
Yeah,
that's really cool. That's like our Gym Staryu deck.
Yeah,
it's the same
and
thing.
it's exactly the same thing, so go figure I would think of it, right? Because this is exactly the same thing I did in Gym Challenge, you are correct. So, you know.
The concept doesn't even die, because next set is the Shuppet, and there's apparently a half meme donk deck with it. Because it's like Star Boomerang on a basic, basically, though I don't think it's optional.
No, it's not. Yeah, and also, while I technically didn't play against a Regigigas deck in the end, I realized just how hard this deck loses to Regigigas in the end, so because I'm already running Psychic anyway for Core Blast, I just tweaked things around a little bit. I took out one of the Electrodes and just put the Mewtwo level X in to really help against that matchup. Because, yeah, there wasn't much else.
Good job I didn't bring the Mew. Like, if you did bring this and I put Reggies against it, it would have probably ended up in a Mewtwo war. And it would have been sad for everyone.
Yeah, kind of. The thing is, though, like, Starmie generally beats the Mewtwo, right? It takes a while, but the Starmie will beat the Mewtwo. I guess you can, like, recover stall, but eventually it's going to go down, and it's like, if you just keep having to recover, you're having to attach all the time to it, so, like, yeah. And I think Recover specifically Psychic Energy. You don't play many of them in Reggie, so yeah. I think the Starmie actually does kind of tip that one. It's like, okay, you KO one of these, but that's fine, because that's why I put the 4th Staryu in the stuff, right? It's a single energy every time, and the Mewtwo will take 50 from the Core Blast as well, so I can push if I have to. I don't think one lone Mewtwo is going to beat this deck. You know, and if it does, well, I just punch around the Mewtwo, and I just like, because you can't KO me in consecutive turns, right? Because you can only do 60 with Psyburn, so I'll just start Boomerang if it comes to that, and Giga Burn discards all your energy, so you can't do that turn after turn. So I'll just work around it, and I'll just snipe everything else instead. So that's what's key about the Starmie compared to Gengar, is that yeah, it's a bit more fragile, but it does damage as opposed to putting damage counters down. So if an Unknown G is in play, then it doesn't matter. You can still do 50 to the Claydol. You can still, you know, do that much for KOing. Like, Crest is annoying because it moves a damage counter off of itself and it's not 2-shot at that point, but yeah, eventually it's going to get worn down, and yeah, it's a very boring matchup going against this, but, you know, this actually does beat the Crest if you set it up correctly. So, yeah, I don't know. It was creative enough, and I was happy with the result. I was just like, I played a ton of this against the other two midweek, and I really wanted to try the Scizor deck because I thought this was also really, really good. Just plain simple consistency, to be honest. 4+ power, 4 blower, 4 drawer, 4 quick ball. Almost reminds me of some of the decks you've built in the past, Mac. Of just going, yeah, I'm just going to play 4 of like 15 cards and that's it.
Yeah.
It's just general good stuff. But yeah, it's explosive enough. And yeah, I found that the lone Uxie just helps so much more than it hinders in this deck. So
Let me just get... I did have my own Cherrim list, actually. I'll bring that out now.
yeah, if it's good, why not run 4? Exactly. Also, hello, Sinsmage. How you doing?
Version. I tried a few things with Cherrim. I tried the Butterfree as well, but I didn't feel the Scizor this week. So I'm not sure about the consistency because I didn't like running the whole Uxie plan with it.
That's fair.
So I came up with this instead.
Yeah, I played this midweek with the oh, I've got so many different decks. I played this Heatran Level X Infernape was the one I played this on, which was relatively good for me in the end, I think, but not for the reasons you'd think though, because Yamega doesn't get hit for weakness. It's more just the fact of I hit 120 every single turn when I'm set up, you know.
The idea is the Yamega forces to take prize while getting the spread damage needed for KOs.
Mm-hmm.
Then Vespiquen cleans up.
Yep.
With its come from behind power up.
Yeah.
The Cherrim helps make up for the unreliability of Vespiquen in the late game.
Yep.
The interesting thing here is that I was running that is my draw engine is unknown R's and poker radars.
Which is exactly what DNA is just gone in with too. A Vespiquen deck that has an unknown that discards itself to draw a card? Huh, never seen that one before.
Because it also works with the Combi.
Yeah, that's the idea, is that say if you've got the bench space, when you bench a Combi, you get the unknown out of the discard, so you get an extra draw off it too, so... There's so many good little synergies and stuff like that in this format, it's really nice. Yeah, so I'm not going to bring any other decks out here because there's already enough out, but just some of the other things I was looking at this week. I had a really crazy Beedrill Torterra deck that was just using the new Torterra, not the old ones, that I ended up doing some ridiculous stuff on Wednesday, like it was double drawer into basically having 3 Beedrill in play without having any prior in the thing, and it was just like 1 energy 90 immediately off of that, which was ridiculous. A couple of different Heatran decks. The Infernape one was kind of neat, but the Moltres one I think was a little bit better in the end, using a couple of fighting energy with the Regirock and Start Mountain to be able to move them to Moltres, so it only discards 2 energy instead of 3, which lets Heatran just let it consistently 100 turn after turn. I played Magnezone, but I don't think I'm good enough at Magnezone to actually play it here, so I wasn't feeling that one, to be honest. Same with Gyarados at the moment, without Broken Time Space. Using Red Candy instead of Gyarados was just bad, so I didn't play that. And then the Abomasnow I was looking at trying, but I think it really needs the Manectric from next set to do more punishing Pokepower stuff as well, so... And then, yeah, Tyranitar I had as well, as you see on the other side, but... yeah, just a bunch of things using like the Sceptile potentially as well, just going Torterra a little bit in there. I just about built Machamp in the end, but I never tested it against anything because I was like, don't have enough time to put into this. And yeah, a couple of different Gengar builds because Gengar was just objectively the strongest card this set, so... You know.
One of the things I have noticed is games were relatively fast this week.
Yeah. I mean...
My games with Matt were pretty longish, but that's because I don't scoop very easily. I'm like completely dead.
Yeah, and then I mean I was playing a pretty fast aggressive deck, so I guess that that does help. But it is also a pretty fast format too. Yeah,
I kept up with it reasonably.
You did, yeah. Once we got past that first game where you just didn't have any draw or anything, it's just like game 2, which yeah, you're really close, like within a couple of prizes. So.
Quite like the pace of the format, to be quite honest. Now I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
The only real complaint that sometimes there's a few too many sorry, twisting my own tongue here. A few too many solitaire turns where you just sat there playing too long, I think.
Yeah, don't ever show him UV Max then. But yeah, no, I understand. It's sometimes that can happen, but
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
want to use 4 Genesect V in one turn?
No, it's all good. It's what I understand what you mean. It's like some of these turbo engine stuff, especially, you can, like, I don't even have all of it in here, but some of them you can legitimately draw like 35-40 cards in a turn within this format, and that can be a little bit silly at times. But yeah,
Like-
it's
It probably felt worse than it usually would because of the AMU deck, because it's like, I'm going to draw everything. Psychic Band, you draw nothing.
yeah. The AMU deck is weird when it comes to stuff that way, because it's like, you kind of live and die by Uxie itself over here. It's like, if you can't put Uxie down, you don't really draw a lot. But I think the Poké Drawer does help a lot. That's something I didn't have access to when I was testing this, because, you know, previous format. And, yeah, I think that really does make a difference. I think I was using, like, Pokédexes in there instead, and it's just not the same, you know? So...
I'd say it's nice when you have it.
Mhm.
That was my first time actually getting to use it.
Yeah, I mean, I used it plenty against you in midweek for sure, so sorry about that. I did some
I got
really-
my revenge.
You did. You played two sets in the same game. I was like, I didn't see a single one that game, so, you know. So I did play 2 sets of Pokeball, and, you know, so I guess I can't complain. Right, okay, so what on earth are we looking at in terms of hits this week then? Like, obviously T-Tar Scizor, that's clear. What the hell do we do with this?
I'm not sure how to hit Dusknoir.
I think you got, like, with so many good Dusknoir bases, I think you've got to aim for the head for the level X. Because if you take out any individual Dusknoir, they just run a different one.
They're all good.
Yeah, to varying degrees of success, eh? The one we can't see in here this week, because there just physically isn't enough space to play it, is the promo one with Reaper Pulse. Like, there physically is not enough space to play that many Dusknoir, because it's a 5th name. So, you know, it's very silly the way that it works out here.
You could probably make an individual deck out of any of these.
Just about. I think you will have more or less success with some of them, as we found when you were playing more of the Night Spin one, right? There was a
I
little
think
bit.
this one could be nasty.
Yeah, this is a hit and run type deck. Because
So-
have Moonlight to get out again.
Yeah, the funny thing about this one is that it's probably the best one to use the level X with as well, because it's the one that actually does the most damage overall. You know, Reaper Pulse does do 70, but it's like this also spreads to the bench even further. So it's like, man, you're gonna put 2 damage counters on all the relevant stuff now. So, and then yeah, when it comes to AMU. Yeah, probably it's got to be one of the 2 non-Uxie level X's, right? Like, the Uxie level X is the only reason I say that shouldn't get hit, is because as much as it's been maligned in terms of a lot of things, it is possible to play this in other decks as a potential out to Machamp with, like, Late Boundary or Lucario GL coming up soon. So it's like, it gives SP decks a way that you might actually be able to stand up to that thing, put an unknown G on this guy, and watch them cry. So, like, I wouldn't want to get rid of this anyway. It's more generic than anything.
Yeah, like, Mesprit is such an obvious target, because that is what the deck is built around.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's Mesprit or Azelf, there's never another set of level X's for these, so honestly, either of these will take the thing out, and realistically, yeah, it's probably should just be Mesprit, because it's the one that does 200 damage, but I don't think anyone is going to tech Azelf to have no weakness on Psychic Pokemon, but you could, I suppose. You know, I guess it's probably better to keep the thing that's got like a marginally useful ability in the format, even though nobody's ever going to use it anyway. But that's fine. It's probably for the best.
So we kill those.
I don't think we need to kill both of them.
I mean,
If you kill Mesprit, then this deck is unplayable, right? Because, I mean, if you kill any of the level X's, this deck is unplayable, because Mesprit requires all the level X's in play, and there's no replacement for that. So
Kill the Masprit then. Just
yeah, might as well
take
just
that
take
off.
that out. And then nothing else here actually got played, so I guess these do survive another thing here. But
Some more fortunately than others.
well, you
And
see,
I don't think we should be touching the Mewtwo at all.
no,
I don't think it's the one making or breaking the deck.
no, probably not. No. So is next set the one that's got Crobat in, or is the set after? Because
Crobat G.
yeah, because Crobat G does actually help a lot against the Gengar deck as well, because if you can KO them in the middle of the turn with a power or something, then Crobat G is
Yep.
Platinum. Okay,
Crobat G is in Platinum.
right, so yeah, it's this round this would have gone completely unchecked. Next round, like, Crobat G is going to be played in basically everything anyway, right? So it's like there are ways around it, because it's not do 10 more damage, it's put a damage counter somewhere.
It's gonna annoy me if that's not.
Yeah, it's put a damage counter down somewhere, which actually does that does change a lot, because now it's a case of if you can get the Gengar to the point where you can KO it with 1 or 2 Flash Bites. Yeah, the G in Gengar in Crobat G stands for Gengar Eater. Yes, there you go.
Status would also be really nasty versus Gengar.
Yeah, there's a you know, not G-shaped Pokemon over here that will solve that problem.
I get that.
Speaking about stats, actually. Another fairly commonly played tech I've noticed.
And Pel's just like, I thought it stood for good luck next round. That's the GL in Luxray GL level X. Yeah, exactly.
A few interesting builds. There's like an interesting sub-theme of like uses the stealth poison for advantage, but I've seen lists that just use it just to say, okay, you're poisoned now.
Yep.
For damage.
Yep.
And it's not an attack, so guard doesn't do shit.
Yep. So this will still be very strong, don't get me wrong, but I'm not immediately sold. I need to have a look at the actual set, but I'm not immediately sold this is actually best deck next round, because next round we have not just the SPs, not just a Crobat that can deal with it, but we have Broken Time Space coming in too. So a lot of these decks on the fringe, stuff like Gyarados as well, that has just been like kind of playable but not really sort of thing. Yeah, that shakes up a lot. And also just SPs in general are going to if you thought this was already a fast format, oh boy. Let's introduce the quote-unquote big basics back in and see how that goes, eh?
This card gives me brain hurt with that symbol at the bottom.
It's weak to ground.
Ground makes sense.
Yeah.
And fighting too, right?
Yeah.
No, it's poison, so
it's
it's poison
resistance.
dark, neutral to fighting.
Poison Dark is only weak to ground. That's the one thing that it's vulnerable to. So, yeah, I mean, like, what else was it even going to be weak to? Is the question, really, isn't it? Because, like, if it's weak to Psychic, that doesn't make sense because you know, the Dark type resists and it poison itself. Like, it resists all of the Psychic ones. So it's like, what is it even gonna be weak to otherwise? I think it had to be fighting. Of course, you know nowadays if it was that, it would be a Dark type instead of a Psychic type, so it would still be weak to fighting and it'd be okay. So, not that I necessarily agree with that change in the first place, but, you know, at least it makes it a bit more
Poison's an
quote-unquote
awkward
reasonable.
If you're going to move a type from Psychic to Dark, why not Ghost? They're trying the same weaknesses! They hit the same weaknesses! Ugh.
In Modern, it would have been printed as a Dark type and would somehow be weak to Grass.
Oh god, yeah, probably. Just realizing that, yeah, because they would probably take the the actual Dark typing off of it, wouldn't it? God damn it.
Well, and Poison is Dark now too, so it
Yeah.
for sure is just Poison or just Dark.
Right, it's just like if they take the poison part of it, like they guess they would with a fairy or something for... is God of War nowadays weak to metal, actually, or dark?
Yes.
It is metal. So, like, it's Psychic Fairy, which are both in Psychic, but they took the fairy part for it instead. So it's like, for this being Dark Poison, Drapion is usually weak to fighting, right? So I guess they do take the poison part off of it rather than the Dark part for these. It's weird.
Yeah, weak to metal.
Yeah, so it probably still would be weak to fighting even nowadays, just because they would treat it as the poison part of Dark rather than the Dark part. But it would be really stupid, right? If it did just go, oh yeah, this thing's weak to grass now, and I'm just like, what? Mind you, not the dumbest thing they've done, right? Swampert. Swampert weak to lightning, let's go. What gets me about the poison going to Dark type though is it now means that poisons hit Psychic for super effective and not the other way around, and it bugs me to no end because that's so dumb. Like, because that's a universal change for Psychic too, is that all Psychic types are not weak to themselves now, they're weak to Dark. So, what? You know? I don't like Sword and Shield's type change stuff, let me just put it that way. I get kind of what they were going for with some of them, but the way they've made everything completely uniform, that's one thing that's cool about this format. Like, did you know Sharpedo was weak to lightning and not like fighting, being in the Dark type? Houndoom is weak to water. Right, they're still resistant to Psychic because they still take the Dark part for that, but they're allowed to use the secondary typings in order to shake things up a bit. And I think a lot of the diversity gets lost when you do that. When you don't do that even. Because it's like, okay, now all Houndoom that are Dark type have to be weak to fighting, but that every Dark type that, or yeah, I guess it might be that fighting or grass or whatever, it's like every Dark type has to be weak to the same thing. Every poison or subtype within that has to be weak to exactly the same thing. And it's just like, why? That just means that it's like, you know, every Psychic type is weak to Dark, therefore, you know, when one Psychic type gets good, every single Psychic type suffers for it, because you just counter it with the same thing. It's why Arceus just, like, smorgasbords whatever the hell it wants in the deck. You know, it's just irritating, because you would like to be in a bit more of a diverse sort of format with that, and just go, yeah, I can play the Dark type, and actually have it weak to something else for a change, you know.
It would be nice to have different types on the Urshifus.
Yeah, and like, well, yeah, I get what you mean with that. And then it's like, again, for the Swampert thing, why is it weak to lightning? It should be weak to grass. I know it's not the only time it's happened, but come on, it should be weak to grass here. But no, it's a water type in Gen 8. It has to be weak to lightning, and that's just like, yeah, diversity? What is that?
Okay, so if they do Pangoro, how are they doing that?
Usually Dark weak to fighting.
Is it weak to fighting? I'd have thought it had been weak to grass. Anyway, this is getting off topic with this stuff, but that's fine. I'm just looking at choice here. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff from this week in the end. I really, really liked this as a list. I know we got to see it before the Shaman came in, and I would have liked to have had the Shaman level X, even if it is awkward to get out, because that actually makes Scizor a tank at that point, you know, 140 HP, but its ability is when you have 6 or more damage counters on it, not when it's at like 40 HP or less remaining. So it would have actually been like, oh, you've got me down to 80 HP left, now I take 40 less damage from everything. It's just like, what do you do now, you know? And it's still a body, not a power, so it doesn't it doesn't conflict. So is weak to grass, yeah, I thought it would be.
It was weak to Psychic last gen, though.
Yeah, but not when it was treated as a Dark type. It was resistant to Psychic when it was treated as a Dark type, so which is accurate.
Malamar is rolling around in the grass.
At least Malamar makes sense to be weak to grass because of the 4 times bug weakness, right?
Exactly, a Joltik fed it.
Joltik uses Bug Bite.
I think you have to.
Malamar dies.
I think you have to use Galvantula for that technically, because I know there hasn't been a grass type Joltik yet, but there has been a dual type Galvantula in Fates Collide. So, and I remember that one specifically because its sniping attack on the bench, I believe, applied weakness and resistance. So, one of the few
there is
times.
A good Joltik though, isn't there? I believe it's Night Marcher.
There was the Night Marcher, yeah. Anyway, yeah. SP Pokemon next set. I think because of Psy's flu jab timing, we will want to take next week off though, just to make sure there's no repercussions off of that, no ill feelings that day. And also we give, you know, the last day that I'll have our puppers over here and taking care of roles, so caretaker role even.
I'll just probably be getting that, coming home, going to sleep.
Yeah. So we'll have to be in 2 weeks' time, but I think it you know, makes a lot of sense for the stuff here. So.
Oh, another thing. My sister's got me the advent calendar for Pokemon TCG.
Oh.
So it's like a bunch of packs and stuff in there. So
cool.
There's some of them are three card packs, but there's like 6 full card packs, and there's foils and.
Yeah, I was gonna say
B&B
my stuff
Max.
is frozen at the moment. We're getting there. I can see a loading bar, so there's at least something.
Yeah, I
going
was
on.
trying to load in plaque.
There is a code card for it, so you should be able to get a bunch of the foils and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I might, if I have time in between everything else going on, if I have time, I'm going to try and do some more PTCGO stuff next week. So that'll be fun. I ended up getting Arceus and a couple of Giratina and stuff that way, so I have a little bit more of the main bits I can play. No Mew V Max, but Mew V is like too expensive at the moment on there, so talking like 11 packs per Mew V, and I'm just like, no, can't do that.
It is the best non-Arceus deck in format.
Yeah, and I think it's been spiked because of recent results, right? We'll see what Peoria is it the regional that's going on at the moment. We'll see what that does to the meta, because that's probably going to swing things quite a bit as well. But I already have most of the decks that aren't Mew. I only have 2 Palkia, but I don't want to play pure Palk anyway. I want to play it with Cherrim, which I have, and I think you only need 2 Palk for that deck. So
I'm hoping we do get you the Vulpix V-Star.
that would be cool. Yeah, I would try it out. It's
It's also just a very pretty card.
yeah. But yeah, that's that. I don't know. I don't. Go on.
People were asking about how common the golds were because they were a low price. So I brought my thing to check, and rate per card is about the same between its original VMAX print and the the original VMAX print and the gold TG.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. I mean, I ended up I've got Shadow Rider like Calyrex stuff as well, and I managed to get the 2 remaining. It was black art ones, I think that, but I only had to pay a single pack for those, so it's just like that seems kind of low for such a, you know, quote unquote chase card off of this stuff. I know it's not top of the meta or anything, but like
I did get 2 Ice Riders and a Shadow Rider when we opened that set in gold.
Yeah. So. But yeah, cool decks on the stuff this round though. I know this Dustar thing didn't end up working out ridiculously well for you, but I do really like it.
We got a good game out of it.
Yeah, and it was a challenging deck to go against. That was another thing. I did enjoy that sort of bit off it. Yeah, it wasn't an easy game whatsoever to go against it. So like,
it's really annoying.
So
it's like almost where it needs to be.
Yeah. So that was really cool. Apologies for just doming you with the Pokeblower thing, Pepper. That wasn't very nice.
Well,
but,
I can't blame you for doing that. But
I know you can still hate me for it though. It's okay. And yeah, next set we'll definitely have to try and play Matt. See what we can do. This is a cool deck though, to say the least. Because I was trying it myself before as well.
I just like Ghost Pokemon, and this is one of my friend's favorites next to the Banat sort of stuff.
I can't blame you for running it. It's an interesting deck for sure.
Yeah, DNA's words there. I would have done the same thing with blowers, but also fuck you. Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect point to end on there. So yeah, thank you guys for playing, and thank you guys for watching as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this as much as we did here. Nice to play a simple deck for a change rather than having to go overly complicated on everything, right? Just get your bug, get your flower, hit things really hard, you know. Nice and straightforward. Yeah, So